Hi y'all, I'm Jacqueline and I am happy to death to be sitting down today with the cast and filmmakers of Happy Death Day, the latest from Blumhouse Productions. Jessica, Ruby, Israel, Chris, and Jason, thank you for joining us and christening our studio, because this is our first interview in our brand new fancy studio, so thank you.
So much for having us.
Yeah. So glad y'all here. Jason, the maze, the horror nights maze that you're doing, you've already twisted the horror genre and now you're going to twist. Yeah, so tell us about this, because I am terrified to go.
We've done a lot of live events over the years, but this is the culmination, definitely. I really think Universal Horror Nights does it on a big scale, and John Murdy is the guy who runs it. And I talked to him for a long time about trying to incorporate a handful of our movies into one maze, and he finally did it. So I'm really psyched. And it's Happy Death Day, Sinister, and The Purge in one event. And it's I've been through it, and I'm going through it again tonight, and it's super fun.
Are you guys going?
We're going tonight.
First time tonight.
So sorry for anything that happens
screaming
on my
that's going to happen. We have to see it. I really want to watch this because I want to go too. And I love that now horrors are an event both in the theater and now outside of the theater. Like the cinematic experience just keeps going between the mazes and everything else. So
also with Happy Death Day, there's very rare that there's a maze of a movie before the movie comes out. So there are going to be a group of people for the next couple of weeks who do the maze before they see the movie, which I think will be kind of fun.
Yeah. No spoilers though, right? Like they're not
no
gonna
spoilers. We were very careful in the maze. Don't worry. You can see the maze and the movie will not be ruined.
Excellent.
It will be enhanced.
Oh. Down for the enhancement. So I want to ask this for everyone because again, it's the repetitive action of this, but which movie could you watch on repeat over and over again? Because this has a rewatchable quality to it. Like I want to catch things the second time I see it.
Well, and before we answer that question, I know I was talking to Chris about the amazing work they did, like you said, in the editing, and he was talking about the soundscape they were building, that even when I saw it, I was like, oh, we didn't even include that, and that's part of the repetition, and it's so brilliant and so funny, so I just have to say that.
No, I'm ready for it.
I would probably, I think Princess Bride.
Princess Bride.
Yeah, I would watch Princess Bride, because I would never get bored of it, I don't think.
Yeah. What about you, Ruby?
Mine is so opposite of yours.
Wait, are we paying attention to the
I'm
movie,
not
or is
sure.
it just on in the background?
No.
You're watching.
Have you ever seen Attack the Block?
Oh my God, yes.
John
Really?
I've watched it so many times.
That's the most random movie,
I know,
but
that's
I love
why
that movie. But I just,
That's what got him
That's
Star
a total
Wars.
surprise.
I know, John Lee.
that's really cool.
I watch it like every night.
It's so
I
good.
love that movie. I love that movie. And so many great people from it. The Doctor from Doctor Who's in it. Sorry, I'm going to stop nerding out. What would be your choice?
I don't know. Goodness. Happy Death Day.
All right.
There you
I like
go.
that. That's a good answer.
That's
That's a good answer. We'll take
No one
it.
in this room will dispute that.
No,
answer.
exactly.
What about you, Chris?
I mean, I already have it. I've probably seen Rosemary's Baby at least 100 times, and I love that movie so much because I do discover something new every time I watch it.
You people are all disturbed. It's musicals. Wizard of Oz, Grease, musicals.
Yeah.
Musicals.
All right.
That's what I would watch.
There's a little more
million
fun in
times.
that.
You're right. Musicals.
Yeah.
With that. Sorry.
Well, we
I
could go
have
like
seen
Pineapple
Grease, I
Express.
think, as many times
Yes.
as Chris has seen Rosemary's Baby,
Yes.
which is embarrassing. Now, part of the reason is because it's the only, when VHS was invented before you were all born, the only two tapes we had were Saturday Night Fever and Grease. So I really watched a lot of those. But I'm glad I did.
We might ask for a performance.
I could do it. I could do it.
What are
I
the
could.
numbers?
A bit of
I could
both.
do it.
Little Shop of Horrors, which is a musical.
That's
and
great.
also
about
a
Okay.
movie. Yeah, I'm a nerd. Whatever.
That's a good one.
No, it's a great one.
Anyway, so
I'd live in a little shop of horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors has a great soundtrack too,
It does.
though.
It's amazing.
Chris, I wanted to ask you one thing too that's terrified me in the movie: the killer's mask. How did you come up with that? Because it's just so
there's
creepy.
There's the part of the objective was to find a mask that would function as a mascot for the school, but also something that could seem innocent and believable in that context, but also something that would be terrifying. And there, we experimented a lot with different masks, and we had some animal masks and so forth. But the baby really stuck. And then I think maybe on some sort of a subconscious level, I was about to have a kid.
And was it
And I
terrifying
think
you?
there was maybe there was some anxiety there, but no, it was just funny because I had the sort of, when we got the test masks sent to us, I had a feeling about the baby, So I put the mask on and I hid in the closet, and we called our line producer into the room,
Oh
and I
my.
walked up behind him, and he turned around and he screamed and ran out of the room, and I was like, "That's the mask.
Winner.
That's the one. It
Were you all
works."
terrified? Like, I mean, the first time
yeah.
you saw it, right?
He showed
I
it to
was
me
really
at his
excited,
desk in the
but-
daytime.
Yeah,
It wasn't until it
saying
was
you weren't
on
scared?
set. Not at first. Not at first.
I was excited.
When it came to life, especially seeing the scene, she gets chased down a hall in a scene.
Yeah.
That
It's
was
terrifying.
that
I
was
think
the
it's
scene
what
that
you
sold
said
it.
earlier, though. It's like it's something so innocent that you can't believe that it turns into something so horrifying.
Yeah.
Well, right. I mean, passing it by, you wouldn't look at it and be like, "Oh, that's gonna scare me later." But when it does, that's
the
what.
body.
It's
Emotion
even
around it.
more horrifying because it should be adorable and cute.
Yeah.
Never stop smiling at you either.
Never
so.
stop smiling. Those vacant eyes just haunting my nightmares now.
It was definitely an ingenious move.
Yes.
The mask.
Great. No, I love the mask. It was-
Incidentally, like major props to our one of our stunt guys who had to
Yeah.
wear it and
be terrifying.
yeah,
And
it's-
be hot.
It's really hard to
Yeah.
run in that thing.
I imagine. Ruby, I wanted to ask you something, and I feel bad saying it, but you guys are going to be kind of competing against each other as your dad's show premieres. Stranger Things second season is premiering the same time as this. Did you guys have a horror thing when y'all were growing up, or?
You know, my dad and I, as along with my whole family, we watched so many films, but horror movies were never one of them. My mom cannot watch horror films to save her life, but she's so committed to going and watching this film, and I feel really bad for her. She went and saw 47 Meters Down, too. It was terrible. But, that was
So
terrible.
you're just torturing them, basically.
No, yeah, but they're really excited to see it. But horror films were never, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I just
Deprived.
think it's so funny because both y'all are in, like, this, again, the rebirth, so. But
We're gonna win, guys.
Yeah, that's right.
But the thing about that is
It's
going
two
to
different
the
things.
it's
Yeah.
two different things, and going to a movie theater and seeing a film is such a communal experience, especially with a horror movie, because you feel people gasp, you feel them scream, and watching a show at home, as wonderful as that is, and
Yeah.
I love Stranger Things, but it's a completely different experience, and that's why The Maze is so brilliant, because it's that communal adrenaline overload.
But it's also when you're in a theater, you're sitting in the dark. And
Right.
what do you do when you're in the dark? You look for a source of light. So the screen is the source
Yeah,
of light.
exactly.
That you're, there's,
It should be
whereas
safe,
when
but
you're
it's
in
not.
exactly.
And there's a
When
bigger
you're-
world out there other
Yeah.
than Netflix and chill. You know, you can go to the movies, you can go bowling.
no.
Can go
Date
bowling.
nights.
Don't get me wrong. I just wanted to get her to talk about her dad.
Of
Right?
course.
I just
Well,
wanted to get
thanks.
her to talk. Anyway, no, the last thing I was going to ask you is, since this is a Groundhog Day movie, it's gotten repeated. Do you know how many times you died? I know you probably do, but do you guys know exactly how many
I
times
took
you
a
died?
guess.
I heard this answer yesterday. I had originally thought 10. I found out it's 14.
Is it
Really?
14?
Yeah, 14.
Oh my gosh, I
14
was so
times.
wrong.
What'd you think?
I thought because of the
think it's
montage and
14.
everything,
Oh,
it was
14.
easily in the high 30s or
Um,
something. I thought maybe even months into
Well, I mean,
it.
that we see
But that could
actually
be high.
happen. 14
There
that
could
we
be more
actually-
though, for all we know.
Yeah, for all we
You
know,
know,
because there
that
is
we
I thought it was
that
into
many.
the
We're
months.
just showing
I
the
thought it
Or
was
important
Chris
ones.
just chose the best ones.
Yeah.
Could have been 100.
Yeah. But the thing I do like about how our film functions is because you're watching her learn and you're watching her adapt to things, there's a very linear progression. And so I kind of, I mean, maybe it is 100, maybe it's 200, maybe by the end of the film she should be 145. Like you
what my
you don't
mind is.
really, yeah, exactly.
And the other thing that's really cool about this movie is that, and a lot of people are afraid of time loop movies because they're like, oh my God, I don't want to see the same thing over and over and over again. And what's great about her character and what's fun about the movie is that once we get past the establishment part of the day, she's trying to figure out a way to escape her death. And so the story in the film veers off in so many different directions that you're never actually being dragged through the same thing over and over and over again.
Every time I die, it's a different way.
Yeah.
I die a million different ways. My poor mother watching this film. But it was so much fun, and it really gave me permission, and Chris and Jason both gave me permission to let my freak flag fly. Because when you die that many times, by the end, you don't really give a shit. Like, you're willing to kind of just be who you truly are. And the amazing thing about Israel's character is that I think Tree realizes that he's the only person who actually gives a shit about her, the only person who actually cares, and the opportunity to find that in college is so rare.
I would say your scenes with him gave me the feels, and then the cafeteria scene at the end, but we won't get into that one. But that was
I definitely screamed at you how charming you are in this film.
I know.
It's absurd.
Charmer you.
All right.
What's that noise?
Thank you guys so
Thank
much
you so much
for
you.
chatting with us, and again coming and talking with us today. Everyone, please go check out Happy Death Day. It's in theaters October 13th.